There's this moment today in every production meeting. I don't care if you're making a movie, a TV show, a YouTube video, a reality show about shark hunting, 30-second promo for the cat shelter. There's this moment when somebody just blurts out, "We need a strong female character for this." Now, I'm not sure why this happens. I'm not sure why little synapse explosions occur in the brains of otherwise intelligent writers, actors, media executives, directors, who 5 seconds before we were talking about production design or cinematography or marketing. It's probably something deep within their DNA. Dates from Neanderthal times, and it causes this error message in the left prefrontal cortex because they just blurt out randomly, "We need a strong female character for this." And then after they blurt it out, 7 or 8 additional people will then come in with various forms of agreement, as though it's the most natural thing in the world to be ordering a double Western bacon cheeseburger at the Carl's Jr. drive-thru, and you say, "Oh yeah, give me some of those jalapeno poppers, and also we need a strong female character for this." Because, I mean, sometimes I like to point out to them, we don't need a strong female character for this. We might, in fact, need a weak female character for this particular story. Or more likely, we'll need a complex person for who the words strong and weak are relative or irrelevant, because she's a human being. But they say, yeah, we need a young Jodie Foster. Or maybe a young Meryl Streep. Yeah. One thing you never hear is, we need a young Marilyn Monroe. You don't hear that. And yet, I could go scene by scene through the complete works of Jodie Foster, Meryl Streep, and Marilyn Monroe, and make notes in the margins of the script that would read something like this: strong moment, weak moment. Neither strong nor weak moment. Strong, weak, moderately weak, on. Because all 3 of those women have played multiple roles with multiple points of view that can't ever be summed up by the words strong female character or weak female character. You can do the same with male characters. Superman is not interesting unless kryptonite exists, okay? Anyhow, I'm going to take a stab at explaining why this ritual occurs. One is ignorance of the principles of writing scripts, especially the part dealing with characterization. 2 might be posturing for the public Hollywood jury, the Harvey Weinstein syndrome, 3 might be so they can talk about the meeting on Facebook. 4 might be member of the Politburo, and I'm only half joking about that because in the Soviet Union, they actually did require strong female characters in the movies. They had script readers who had to approve every film produced, and they would write these lengthy notes saying things like, "The character of Svetlana must be altered to remove all evidence that she was derisive toward the 5-year plan of the tractor factory in Novosibirsk," or the writers are directed to make Olga more representative of the Soviet woman described by Engels, Marx, and Lenin as economically independent and empowered by her participation in the social advancement made possible by the Anti-Fascist Women's Committee. And of course, the Russian screenwriters would all slap their foreheads and go, "Of course, that's the key that unlocks the whole character. It was that tractor factory subtext all along. I got it now." But see, we don't need communist writers' committees in the United States. We already do all the work in the production meeting. It started in the 90s, I think. They had this whole Go Black movement. I remember going to an audition for the role of a police captain in a TV movie, and when I got to the waiting room, the receptionist said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't hear? Oh, somebody should have called you. We're going black with this role." Now, that was the first time I had ever heard that phrase. So I said, "Would you repeat that?" And she said, we're hiring an African-American for this part. Only African-Americans can be interviewed for this part." And what I wanted to say was, wait, is this the same female casting director who is notorious in New York City for bringing actresses to tears by telling them they're too short, too fat, too blonde, too perky, too old, too young, too chubby, too Jewish, too ethnic, too whatever? In other words, pointing out things they have no control over because the script is written that way and the script is sacred. And yes, it was that same woman. Apparently, skin color was the only thing that wasn't sacred in a shooting script. So I'm guessing, but I would imagine there was a production meeting, and at some point in that production meeting, someone said, what we need for this is a strong black character. And 7 other people immediately agreed. And so the director said, tell the casting director, we're going black with that police captain. So I understand the whole multicultural, multi-ethnic universe of certain stories that are rooted in diverse environments like Star Trek. But lately, there's been this aggressive effort to use actors as agitprop signboards, even in stories about mountain men that are in rural Montana or wherever, you know. And the director or producer, they can't argue with them. You know, the director might say, well, no, the mayor of Thornton, Colorado is not transgender in this script. And they go, why not? Why wouldn't it be a better story if the mayor was transgender? I mean, these conversations actually take place, and they take place long after the screenwriter has lost control of his work. He's got a 3-inch Bible of backstory on that Colorado mayor, and he may have spent 9 months perfecting that characterization, but it won't matter because somebody with an axe to grind or a sickle to grind at a production meeting started daydreaming about a transgender plot twist. Fortunately, these things have a way of self-correcting, because people who make movies in order to transform society end up dying of brain aneurysms when the Monday morning box office results come out, and Transformers 8 has outperformed their socially relevant stick figures by 9,000%. So watch all those Soviet movies from the 1950s and you'll know what I mean. Better yet, watch that movie last year, Detroit. Remember that movie? Because nobody else watched it. So I think we'll know this is over on some future day when they're having a production meeting at the Public Theater, and the director of Shakespeare in the Park says, okay, we're doing Othello this year, but listen to this, we're going to go white with it. That's when they'll finally decide fake symbolism has run its course.